Hey folks, I'm Tarmack and this is a review of Bombshell developed by Interceptor Entertainment and published by none other than 3D Realms. Before I get into anything, all footage of this review is recorded on the PC, controlled by mouse and keyboard. Computer specs are in the description below, and I was provided review code by 3D Realms to do this review. Bombshell was released on January 29th, 2016, and had a launch price of $35 US. Let's get into it. Bombshell is an isometric shooter built in the Unreal Engine, and it looks great. The texture quality, animations, effects, they're all excellent, and they provide that visceral feeling when an alien explodes or when you trigger in execution. It's very satisfying. However, as I moved through the levels, I found that I quickly got tired of the overly alien terrain and how it was being reused over and over and over again. They even start you on the White House lawn, so not getting more Earth terrain was very disappointing. Also disappointing from a graphical standpoint is the poor camera and how much it obscures. You're stuck much closer to the ground than I would like in a top-down game like this, frequently unable to see enemies shooting at you. There are also numerous sections of the game that include this odd ceiling placement that fade into a wireframe for you to see through, just like objects where you may be walking behind them. It almost made me feel as though the game was intended to be first person initially. Fading the roof sections and wall sections to a wireframe is a huge mistake. You fade them out entirely. Don't make me look through a mesh to see what I'm doing. The game has a bit of attitude, and if it was 1996, having just that clever and overused audio from the main character to tell the story, that might be enough. But in the grand scheme of things, it falls flat because it's not 1996 anymore.
Unlike a certain somebody, I'm not too fond of this tomb raiding business.
Shelly, nicknamed Bombshell, that's where your title comes from, is an attempt at a female Duke Nukem, but the world has moved on from that being enough for a game. She's certifiably badass, to be sure, and while she has a bit of the old cleavage showing, she's not really sexualized, which is a nice change of pace. Bombshell controls best when using a mouse and keyboard. I tested it with both a DualShock 4 as well as the Steam controller, and in both cases, I found that the move and aim mechanics were really awkward. This is commonly the case with games of this style, but not addressed or made better by 3D Realms in this particular game. Even with the mouse and keyboard move and aim controls, it's easy to fall off of a platform or misjudge your aim. This aspect is made even worse by some of the special abilities, which include short distance burst movement to zip across a map a little bit or punch an enemy that's a little bit further away from you. The weapons and abilities in the game are satisfying to use, with exceptional sound and visual effects to match. Each weapon has a different feel to it, whether that be the Ion Maiden or the interestingly named Mother Flacker. Aptly enough, it's a flak cannon. It has reasonable variety in other items as well, including med kits, ammo, and a few consumable boost items so that you can run faster or whatnot. Not so few as to be meaningless, but not so many as to really complicate the game. You can also upgrade weapons with an alternate firing mode, which is pretty awesome. Though, as with my snark earlier about 1996, this menu here could well have been designed 2 decades ago as well. It's not Pip-Boy retro awesome, it's just old looking. The game has the usual suspects for Unreal option tweaking, that is to say, a lot of them, and as far as performance goes, I found it ran well. I maintained 60 frames per second constantly while playing, and I didn't run into much in the way of obvious bugs, with the exception of the regular ragdoll physics amusement that can happen from time to time. I've heard reports of people having hard crashes, but this doesn't match my own experience. At the end of it all, this is a top-down shooter with RPG elements that has very little story, overused dialogue, and areas that I got tired of very quickly. Those negatives are mildly offset by exceptional visual effects and some kick-ass heavy metal music, but that's simply not enough. Shelly had a similar arrogance and attitude to Duke Nukem, but without the funny, and the rest of the title is just simply not memorable. I cannot recommend this game. You might get a few hours of fun out of it, but I'd wait until it's in a 3D Realms humble pay-what-you-want bundle, if at all. It might be a great game by 1996 standards, but not in 2016. If you found this review useful, please let me know in the comments. If it wasn't useful, let me know why not. And if you feel up to helping my channel out, subscribing and sharing content is the best way that you can do that. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye-bye.